and welcome to Writing Theatre. On today's episode, we'll be shedding light on the benefits of balancing work and study. I'm your host, Marvellous Aliu, and I'll be walking you through various perspectives of this conversation.
My name is Busola Bamidele. Balancing studies with business can be very tough. Talking about time management, you have less time for yourself because you are trying to work and study. Health-wise, it's not okay. Limited social life because you are trying to balance your work and your studies. You don't have a social life. I barely have friends around because I'm like, the time I go, I used to chill with friends. I can use it to make money because there's no one to pay the bills. I'm gonna do the paying of everything. So I don't really have much friends in my cycle because my business is my friend. So that is it. Academic performance, it can't be the same like you being sponsored, like mommy and daddy are funding the school fees and everything. The peace of mind is there that my school fees is settled. You understand? But you're praying, oh God, please let me get my school fees before exam because you won't be spared. And they don't want to hear stories that touch the heart. You either get extra year or come and write it later. They don't want to know. So it will really affect your academics, but it's you that will know that, okay, no matter what, you have to encourage yourself that no, you have to put in that extra energy to say, no, I'm going to pass through this and come out with flying colors.
Okay, to the advantage of working and schooling, I think one thing we all know is that it helps you build your experience. So when you're fresh out of school, you are not applying to jobs as a fresh graduate with no experience. You already have experience. You've gathered experience over the years from working maybe in a company or two, depends on how far you've worked. And it helps you build your career. So you're not just starting, you're already in the system, and it helps you grow faster by the time you're done with school. To the disadvantage, I would say that you don't really get to rest, especially when your work can be pretty demanding and it looks like you're working round the clock from Sundays to Sundays. So it could get really overwhelming and deprives you of rest. My advice to students who are working would be that just keep doing it. You're working, you're schooling. I understand it like I said before, it could get pretty overwhelming and you feel like quitting sometimes and then you're even questioning why you started it in the first place. But trust me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The good definitely outweighs the bad. There's a lot of advantage to it. You will enjoy it by the time you're through. And please learn to prioritize your task. That's the only way you can keep up.
Yeah, for me, one of the advantages I had was I stopped calling hope for money. I could make money from what I was doing to eat and sort a lot of things, buy textbooks, eat and do a lot of things. The sleep time for me was short. So anytime I go to school in the morning, I'm always feeling tired. But reading was not a problem for me because I can easily pick up a book right now and read. But so for some people, I don't think they can cope with that.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Miss Nafisat Ulafalakin Sahid. I studied mass communication from Yaba College of Technology, Yaba Extension. Yeah, the profession I did while in school was I work as a secretary in a law firm of T. Along Malay and Co. And balancing work and school together, it has not been an easy move at the. It was really, really, really stressful. All the way got put me through, the way I was able to manage it was that anytime I had an important test, or probably an assignment to submit, I go beforehand, especially assignments I need to submit even before the start of the class. I did an evening class of 5 p.m. to around 9 or 10. Some lecturers can do. So some lecturers demand us to submit assignments as early as 4:30, even before 5. So anytime I'm to submit an assignment or do a test, I take permission to close from work as soon as possible. Though my boss will be like, "Are you the first person to go to school?" and sort of things. But notwithstanding, I appreciate him. He's late now. I appreciate him for understanding me a little bit and for committing me because if he doesn't want me to school while working with him, there's no choice. I have to drop one for one, which means is either I drop schooling for work or I drop work for schooling, which is not possible because I have some for part time. Well, me managing school and work together has not been really, really easy. Let's be sincere. Has not been really easy, but with God's mercy and guidance, I was able to scale through. I studied economics education at St. Dalsa University. I was a remote virtual at the time. Okay. I was able to balance it, knowing fully well that I did not need to go or travel to go to work. I work from my hostel. Major advantage was work experience. Leaving school, you have experience without working. The major disadvantage is balancing both work and education, as I can be having classes while getting work requests.
Hi, my name is Olare. I'm 25 years old, and I'm a student of University of Lagos State, Distance Learning Service. I'm a university student. And as a student, I work at 7 company as a merchandiser. Working on schooling isn't really easy, but you just need to push your work toward what you want and you make sure you get what you want. Studying and Studying and working isn't really easy. Going to work, we work from Monday to Sundays and my off days on Thursdays. And my lectures is every Saturdays. We do online lectures and we do physical lectures. So during Saturdays that are online lectures, I usually stay at work and being at work, my work don't really give me time because when I'm at work, I'm not able to press my phone. I won't be able to use my phone. So during those Saturdays, I don't usually attend my online lectures.
My name is Bishop Paul, and I was a student in the University of Abuja, Gwagwalada. Yes. And I studied sociology, and the profession that I had when I studied as a student in the University of Abuja was a customer support rep at a tech company where we resolved issues for airlines and businesses alike. I was able to do this by managing my time and making sure that I had enough time to respond to customers and be active at work, and also enough time to study and attend all of my classes. This wasn't easy, but it wasn't so difficult, seeing as the school culture and going to school every day with your book and bag and laptop helped with the idea of being online all the time and being able to respond to customers who needed help and needed attention at the time.
My name is Jack. I'm Master Jack. Well, students working and schooling is an ideal. It's a good idea, but there's a major but. There are school demands and there are office place demands. Now, several young people have to meet targets in the office, and at the same time, they have to meet targets in school. So, how do they go about this? Now, it really depends on the employers. If their employers are a bit on the flexible side to allow working from home, then the student could be creative, sit in the class and serve two different masters at the same time. but you really cannot serve two different masters. But the reality of the matter is that if the student has to pay for his or her school fees and their parents or his or her parents are not in a position to fund their education and they're determined to go to school, the only option is working and schooling. But the question now is what kind of work? It's not every work that allows for the student to, do two things at the same time. If it's a job that the student could probably do, student is not required to be available. For instance, I know of a particular student a few years ago. He was doubling as a security man, which is an ideal arrangement. So he was on permanent night. He does the work at night and comes in the morning to school. That is beautiful. But if it's a job that requires 8 to 5, it's going to be difficult. But if there's a window of flexibility that allows for 1 or 2 days that the students probably will work off online, which means they don't have to be physically present, then it's good. But where it's a bit demanding is in the advertising sector, for instance, where you have a lot of briefs. When briefs are coming in at a very high rate, whether you're in the office or you're out of the office, your client wants his job done. Your art director, your top executive will keep sending you briefs at short notices. I have to respond and get back. So under such a circumstance, it's really, really, really very difficult. So the student must first of all identify what kind of work is it. The worst scenario is 8 to 5 clashing with 8 to 5. Then the next option might be to opt for part-time. Now, opting for part-time in energy, for instance, is the whole of Saturday and Friday. That may just be the next best option. But again, depending on the kind of work, if the organization is such that they even work during the weekends, then the clashing will happen again. But students will have to work and study to survive, to feed themselves, to clothe themselves, and ultimately to have the money to pay for the school fees.
As we've heard, balancing work and study can have some amazing benefits, ranging from developing time management skills to gaining practical experience. Nonetheless, it has potential downside it actually carries. Apparently, working and studying can be challenging, and if not managed properly, can lead to burnout and decreased productivity. That's all for now, and until next time, bye.